I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel, Sentence Master. Now, in this video, I am going to show you some ways and means of making classroom English language teaching and interesting. There was a research done by a research worker who visited several schools in urban areas and rural areas as well, and they found that most English teaching done in classrooms are not that very interesting, and the students are bored with it. And there are my video how to make learning the English language interesting and enjoyable to the students, and without having boredom and getting fed up with the language classes and always going to seek for private tuition. Now let us start with the listening. Now listening skill can be enhanced by getting the students to listen to radio programs, English radio channels, and they can listen and just summarize what they hear. Or even you can show them some TV documentaries. English documentaries are very important. So after listening to them and try to remember what they heard, because most of the students, when they try to learn English, other subjects in the English medium later, find it very difficult to listen to lectures and take down comprehensive notes. But if you teach them to listen to TV programs, which is important, they will learn how to make notes on their own by learning to understand the language, even though they do not know all the words in the language. Right, now let us proceed to the speaking skill. Now, most children have a lot of each other, communicating with their peers as well as with their teachers. Now, the prestigious schools, of course, organize English Day programs where children can participate in those programs, come on the stage and sing songs, act dramas, give presentations. But some of the schools lack funds. They don't have money to organize such programs. So therefore, I suggest that they can organize a class association and then have a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and some committee members, and then every month conduct a meeting. For that, the students will come prepared to sing songs, give speeches, they can do various demonstrations, act out dramas, do various presentations, relate stories, recite poetry, and whatever they like, they can do after preparing an agenda. This is very important, as most students are afraid to come and face an audience and use the English language in front of an audience. So this way you can make them lose their fright. And also there's a thing called impromptu speaking. Most children can't speak because they are afraid to speak. I have prepared a small device for the students to practice this impromptu speech. I will in my video show how to operate this device. All can make a device like this, and after it turns, suddenly you get a letter. Then whatever letter they get, they have to think of a concept that starts with the letter and speak whatever they can. Even few sentences, especially the shy ones, will start with 2 or 3 sentences, but it doesn't matter. They can continue, and after they practice a lot, they will learn to say more after they get a particular device. And also there is 2 game boards called functions and places, where a student comes forward and selects a function from the function board and place from the place board, and then they call a partner, and then they devise a quick after finding out whatever characters who can be there. For example, let us say they get the hospital and they have the function asking for information. So the two students can act, one as a doctor, the other one as a patient, the doctor asking patients questions about his condition and the patient answering them. Like use these 2 game boards. I am going to display that on my video, and it will be very important to train students to do impromptu speech. Then reading skill. Most students don't read anything at all nowadays. Nobody reads any fiction or even essays. So to remedy, I suggested to organize reading clubs. So my teacher trainees at Unawatuna Training College, I told the teacher trainees to start a reading club in their class. And in my video, I'm going to display some of the reading cards that our students in technical colleges prepared. We groups, and at the end of the year we have a competition, and the group which prepares the largest number of reading cards win the competition, and you can award them a small prize. Now when they go to the library, they have to read something like a short story or a short novel or even a poem or a fables, even very interesting fables, and various kinds of written texts, print media, even newspapers, whatever articles, maybe essays, whatever they. And after that, they can summarize what they read in those cards. And the leader of each group will keep the card collection and hand it over to the teacher of the year. Then this is very important, as students feel lazy to go to the libraries, and nowadays all the books are lying idle as nobody is coming to use them. And next we move on to writing. Writing, again I organized an activity called interdisciplinary. This is where English language was combined with computer application, and we told the students to prepare an application form for a certain course, and we divided into groups. 50 marks given by the computer instructor and 50 marks are given by me. Decided which group had done both the computer application and English well, and we decided the best group. So I think that is very good even for science students who are doing English as a subject to combine their subjects like experiments and learn how to write them in English. English teachers can work together with teachers for this kind of activity. Then also we can also make in-class magazine. Now when we went to technical college, of course technical colleges, the students had the NCE magazine. The marketing courses also had their journal. I'm going to display in my video the magazine, outer cover of an NCE magazine and a newsletter and so on that we prepared. So most of the rural schools find it difficult to spend money on typesetting and various other things like publishing and printing. It costs a lot. So nowadays, due to financial difficulties, the English teachers in rural schools that can start a class magazine where they can just fix a bristle board or even some board on the classroom wall and tell children to write whatever they like to write and pin them up on the wall every once a week. So therefore they can have a class magazine without having very lengthy magazines if they can't find funds to spend on printing and publishing. At the urban schools, of course, they can always have a class magazine or some English Association magazine to encourage the students to write. And another problem the students face is vocabulary, lack of vocabulary. I organized an activity called scrapbook, where children collected whatever they could collect from here and there and learn vocabulary on their own. Nowadays, nobody learns vocabulary on their own because all are getting into tuition classes and always waiting for the teacher to collect the words for them and give the meanings of each word. This is not a very good thing, as then their vocabulary level can't be enhanced faster because they always wait for the teacher to come out with the meanings. So you can ask the children to get into groups and prepare a scrapbook of various items that they collect, various articles, even advertisements or whatever they can come across, and learn vocabulary and make lists of vocabulary items and learn on their own. In addition, I also suggest that to develop their knowledge of the language idiomatic expressions. Like, for example, given a good account of oneself means to be able to impress others. So there are books on English idioms available in the library. I'm going to show one book in example so that you can go to the library and you can access these books. And also I am going to introduce what you call quotations. Now we can introduce a quotation every day to the class. For example, religion is man's opium. And you can give them a quotation, ask the students to get into groups and argue against or argue in agreement with the quotation. Some can agree, some can disagree, and in this way you can improve their ability to argument, like persuasion model. We call what you call the argumentative model, to encourage them to express their rational thinking, to improve their rational thinking. Then also another interesting is to laughter. Now if you introduce laughter from some radio channels, you get interesting jokes. Now there was one recently I heard, my boss told me to wear a dress not for the job I do, but for the job I want to do. So I dressed like the boss, and the next day I was fired. So like that, you can have some humorous expression. You can use cartoons for this purpose and get together, and you can have laughter. It's also very interesting to relax, and having some humorous statements, satirical statements also make you feel relaxed and happy, because all of you can enjoy by laughing. So by now, I hope all of you will go through this video with the other teachers, and also tell them not to limit their classroom teaching only for the curriculum completion, and just getting the students the students lose their interest in the English classes. Rather than that, make them creative and make them original thinkers, and get them to acquire the language, rather than just trying to make them learn the language, which is impossible to do according to research. According to latest research, what is more important is to provide opportunities for acquisition. Now if there are no creative activities, no interesting activities, there will be very less acquisition. So learning a language will be a very troublesome thing and will not be able to achieve the expected target. So thank you once again for watching this video, and I hope you'll always share this, and if your valuable comments are appreciated. Thank you.